Well, with more on the deal signed today, we're now joined by Seamus O'Regan, Member of Parliament for the riding of St. John South Mount Pearl. Seamus, always good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Michael.
Listen, I think it's worthwhile to remind people why this is such a big deal. Because, you know, Churchill Falls, I don't have to tell you, and what Newfoundland Labrador received from the electricity generated there has been a long-standing issue for people in the province. How deep did that resentment, that grievance actually run?
First, the first power went on the grid from Churchill Falls the year I was born, 1971. It has been a source of somewhat of shame and of embarrassment and anger because it has been such a lucrative deal for Quebec, and we have gotten a pittance from it. And it is one of the largest hydroelectric dams in North America. So this has really been. It was emotional for a lot of us. It was emotional for the Premier at one point today during this announcement, Michael, and I kind of suspected how I may go, so I had a big hanky here. When he talked about how an entire generation now will grow up thinking of the words Churchill Falls deal as a positive thing and not a source of anger and shame and embarrassment, that really, really shook many of us in the audience, and a lot of Newfoundlanders, I would imagine. But this is a different time now. It is a different era. We made an attempt, as you'll recall, with Muskrat Falls to circumvent Quebec and to build our own dam. And, that dam will generate a heck of a lot of electricity, and I think it'd be a tremendous asset for the country and the province. But financially, it was on the backs of ratepayers in this province. So I was involved, and the government was involved in a rate mitigation deal because at that point, all those cost overruns on Muskrat Falls were falling on the ratepayers of the province. So we just kind of felt, God, can we ever get it right? Mm-hmm. And today, we got it right. It's really something. It's a win-win-win, as the Premier described it today. This is a winning deal for the province of Newfoundland and Labrador for a whole host of reasons, but it's a winner for Quebec. This is energy security that they desperately need because they know that all the excess energy that they had for so long and shipping it down the eastern seaboard, they need for themselves. And this is a real issue in Quebec, in economic energy security. This will help provide that with upgrades that we're going to be doing to the Upper Churchill project, as well as a whole new project at Gull Island. So they're winners here. And then thirdly, and I can tell you, this is really important to me, I was involved with Premier Brian Tobin's attempt and Lucien Bouchard's attempt back in 1998 to get this, get a similar deal done. We ended up, if you probably in the archives can find the footage, of the Innu people surrounding a house where we were staying. So the press conference was taken over by the Innu, and I had been working as the director of policy to Premier Brian Tobin. I had been working on a PowerPoint presentation on that proposal, which we ended up giving to the country's media in a living room on a bedsheet. So it caused me to think, and I ended up doing my master's dissertation, I'm proud to say, on Innu participation in the Lower Churchill. So for me, this is really hitting home. Seeing friends of mine in the Innu leadership there being treated with the respect that they deserved as a part of this ceremony, that was the three-way win. Yeah, a win for Quebec, a win for Newfoundland and Labrador, a win for the Innu. And, now I'm now since a former Minister of Indigenous Services, this really hits home for me. It's an emotional day for a lot of people. It's going to take a while for this to sink in, but the timing was right on this. A very political deal, I think, ultimately between the Innu leadership, Premier Fury and Premier Legault, and a good one for the country. This is a whole lot of really good power, an environmental assessment that's already been completed, so it's shovel ready, and this is the kind of power that we need in this country.
Listen,
it's just a terrific deal.
I hear the excitement in your voice, and you talk about the pride, but without a doubt, historic. For Newfoundland Labrador, incredibly historic. Let's talk about the economic impact this is going to have for the province, because we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar deal here, beginning with $1 billion for each of the next 17 years for Newfoundland and Labrador. How important is that for the province and the future security it promises for Newfoundlanders and Labradorians?
I was involved in some of the briefs that the province gave yesterday, just with leadership here and elected officials provincially, and it is so much to absorb. $17 billion is the equivalent of the current debt, total debt of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, which per capita is already the most indebted in the country. So when the Premier says that this changes everything, this changes everything. This is outside of the deals that are being done, you know, the construction of Gull Island and the upgrades to the Upper Churchill and those transmission lines already constitute one of the largest construction projects in North America. Putting that aside, just the $17 billion that basically allows Newfoundland and Labrador for the first time to realize the full market value of the power that it gives Quebec, that alone could clear our debt, could allow us to lower taxes, could allow us to improve our healthcare, our education, our infrastructure to a level that is comparable, or who knows, maybe even better than some parts of Canada. You know, that's why the Premier says this changes everything. It does. This is a huge amount of money for a jurisdiction of 500,000 people. But this realizes the true market value of something that we have been, you know, given away, you know, because of the deal that we signed back then. So this is monumental. And then you put on top of it all of those construction jobs that I just mentioned in the tens of thousands. You know, I used to say this as Labour Minister, and I've been thinking about it during the whole press conference today here in St. John's. If you have a kid or a grandkid, get them into the trades. Get them into the trades. There's going to be a lot of jobs, and rightly with the agreements that have already been signed with the Innu. That means the Innu come first for jobs, then residents of Labrador, which I'm very proud of because I grew up in Labrador. I'm a Labradorian. Then residents of Newfoundland. And then the rest of Canada. So that's the order in which jobs will be given. And so that gives local benefit first and Indigenous benefit top of the list, and, you know, as it should be. So, yeah, that's a lot to absorb. It's a lot of jobs. I mean, I think, you know, I'd like to think that people in the rest of the country who are watching this happen, hopefully most of them are thinking good on them, you know, because this is a big day for us.
Well, Seamus, congratulations on a big day. Someone that has worked on the file and has watched it through his life. Thank you for this. Really appreciate the insight.
Thank you, Michael. Much appreciated.